Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Houston Inside Out. I am your host, James J. And today we're going to talk about amortization periods. Which one is right for you? 30-year or 15-year? 30-year or 15-year? Now, some of the obvious things with a 30-year versus a 15-year, obviously, if you're financing for a longer period of time, you're going to pay more interest. If you're financing for a shorter period of time, you're going to pay less interest, but you're going to have a higher payment. So sometimes it's a little difficult to understand how the actual mortgage payment is structured. And so we're going to get into a little bit of that just to help you understand the differences and how much of a difference it is between a 15 and a 30-year mortgage and which one would be right for you. But oftentimes it's difficult to know how much of the payment is actually interest and how much of your payment actually goes towards the principal to pay down the loan. So the beginning of the mortgage process, you're going to receive an amortization table. It's going to show you how the actual payments are broken down. So as an example, if you have a $150,000 fixed rate mortgage for 30 years at 4%. So $150,000 mortgage, fixed rate mortgage, 4% interest. Your payments are approximately $716. The first month, $500 of that will be interest. And $216 will actually come off the principal. That's month one. It's a little depressing, but it gets better as you get closer to paying off the loan. Thank goodness. All right. Your second payment is still $716. So the payment amount hasn't changed, but you'll pay less interest. So about $499. Sounds funny, but it's true. $499 would be interest, and $215 and some change would actually be principal. So it's a very small change, very small. But that's the way mortgages work, especially on these 30-year mortgages. They're going to be very, very, very small changes those first few years as it relates to your principal. And then it starts picking up as you get closer to the end. But the interest is about 70% of the total payment, but this will fall each month until it's near zero at the end of the loan. So that's the good thing. Eventually it will actually get paid off, but the first few years for sure, it's moving like a turtle with no legs. Did you catch that? All right, so let's compare the 15-year to a 30-year. So let's assume you have a fixed rate mortgage of $150,000 amortized over 15 years. All right, so the first one was 30 years. This one we're going to look at an estimate of a 15-year mortgage at 3.75 interest. That's 3.75% interest rate. So along with the 15-year amortization period, likely will command a lower interest rate than a 30-year mortgage, which is also a benefit, right? So you're going to pay, typically you're going to have a lower interest rate, but even with that lower interest rate, your payment's going to be higher because you're only financing it over 15 years. So the monthly payment on an estimate like that would be about $1,090 a month. So almost $400 more for a 15-year versus a 30. But of the $1,090 that you're paying on this 15-year mortgage, $622 will go towards the principal and $468 will go towards the interest. Big difference. While the payment is roughly 1.5 times of the 30-year mortgage, the portion directed towards the principal is approximately 3 times higher than that of a 30-year mortgage. So you can see how beneficial this is going to be. You're paying a whole lot less interest if you go 15-year. The only challenge for a lot of people is I can't afford to have that commitment of a 15-year mortgage payment because it's just too high. But If you can do it, do it. 15 years always going to be a better option for you long term than a 30-year. Now, there are ways to take a 30-year mortgage and turn it into a 15-year mortgage, but we're not going to talk about on this particular show. But there are ways just to make an additional payment or two, and you can cut down the interest dramatically. Even if your amortization is over 30 years, you can drop it down. Most of these loans don't have a prepayment penalty, so you can pay it off early and not be penalized by it. So while the 15-year mortgage definitely sounds good, again, that monthly payment just sometimes it just puts people in a position where they just can't handle it. So again, there are ways to take that 30-year mortgage and turn it into a shorter loan. Over time, though, this will definitely reduce the number of payments that you make. Every extra dollar that you are paying, guys, towards your mortgage will reduce the amount you pay in interest and the remainder of the loan. So one payment extra a year can do dramatic wonders on the amount of interest that you're paying. So if you aren't real certain about which approach is right for you guys, just reach out to us here. You can check out myhoustoninsideout.com. That's myhoustoninsideout.com. And we'll be glad to help you. We'll get you some amortization schedules to take a look at, see which option's best for you. If you feel comfortable with a 15-year, I highly suggest you try and go that route. Or we can get you into a 30-year loan, and then we can just give you some direction on how you can cut that down. Again, most loans don't have prepayment penalties. Most. There may be some out there that still do, but most of them don't have a prepayment penalty. So you're not going to be penalized by paying it off sooner than 30 years. So if you got questions about that, again, check out myhoustoninsideout.com. Send me a message, and we'll be glad to help you guys. And so we'll catch you on the next episode of Houston Inside Out, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, please go over to Spotify, iTunes, all the podcasting platforms. Subscribe there. If you are listening on Spotify, iTunes, any podcasting platform, head on over to YouTube and subscribe there. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.